movies. We all go to the movies to transport ourselves into a fictional world, to enjoy, to relax, to change our emotions, to make us laugh, to make us cry, to make us transport into a different world. And recently, the Oscars happened last Sunday, so we're going to be talking about the Oscars. And as you know, I am the film buff, the film review, so we're going to step right in with Best Animated Film. Now, Dean, I'm sorry to say, but Puss in Boots did not win. I'm a little sad.
I'm very sad.
I just want your take.
What's my take? I mean, where do I begin? I mean, you already know here on Hawk TV that we are the biggest Puss in Boots defenders, arguably on the planet. That movie was flawless. And the fact that it did not win Best Animated Film, I think is a disgrace. I think that the plot was like no other. Going into Puss in Boots, seeing that movie, I had no idea that it was going to be nearly as in-depth as it actually was. Like, between the themes of like life and death, and between themes of like your friendship and stuff like that, I would have never expected it out of a movie like Puss in Boots. Personally, I think that Pinocchio won simply because it was a Disney movie. I think that there's some of that Disney bias, I'm not gonna lie, due to like being like the bigger company. I don't know. I heard Pinocchio was a great film. I personally can't critique it, but I find it a really hard time seeing how Puss in Boots could not have won. That's my take, and I'm sad.
I did see Pinocchio and Puss in Boots, and you know, I'm a little upset that Puss in Boots lost, but I'm also happy that Pinocchio won, because I thought Pinocchio was a stop-motion masterpiece. I think Guillermo del Toro did a fascinating job with not only portraying the story in this stop-motion effect, but also changing it so it's something a little refreshing. And you know, the animation, the acting, the overall look of the movie, the overall setting too was very interesting. It was more of a like a late 1930s fascist Italy setting, which was something different than I believe the original Pinocchio was set in like the 1800s, late 1800s. And they introduced new characters, introduced new stories. They didn't make Pinocchio look like a real boy in the end. And I think that resonates a message that you don't have to change who you are for someone else. You can be loved just the way you are. And that's the message, and that's what I love. The message, and that's what I love about the film.
But made me shed a tear right there.
Yeah, that was
true monologue right there. Wow.
I love that movie. But I'm sorry. Puss in Boots should have won at least Best Animation. Come on.
Something.
I mean,
it should have won
gotten
some type
something. Like,
I know stop motion animation is nice, but it's sometimes it's overused, and you know, Puss in Boots. It has a new animation, you know, you saw it in Spider-Verse.
Exactly, especially towards that ending scene. Not gonna say too much for the people that haven't watched it, but just the animative like creativity of just like every little like thing, such as like simply him just running. Like, it looks like it's straight out of a comic book. Like, it's so cool. And I really hope that more movies in the future kind of use that style and kind of use it to the best of its ability that we've seen in Spider-Verse and in Puss in Boots. And they are making a new Spider-Verse, so hopefully they can continue that. We might talk about that later. But, I mean, hopefully that they really can continue that and take that to the next level, because I'm a huge fan of it. I love it.
I will say those were definitely the two contenders. DreamWorks and Guillermo del Toro both put amazing effort into these movies, and I'm glad that Pinocchio won. Sad that Puss in Boots lost, but I'm glad that at least no other movie won. So let's dive in right to our supporting actor. Now, I saw Everything Everywhere All at Once. I like the acting of the movie. I'm going to stop it right there before I say anything else. There's a butt coming, but I'm going to save it for the latter end. How did we feel about the supporting actor?
He deserved it. Like,
I think so too.
I cried when I'm not going to spoil it, I promise, but when he had his moment when it just kind of came more about him and it just everything all at once from his side, it took my breath away. I never had a movie do some twist like that. And that's why I really especially how you guys were talking about Puss in Boots and Pinocchio, how just the storyline of it and how they just been tying things in. This movie gives me the same feel of Pinocchio. Like, you know, you don't have to change yourself, you know, and just that, he deserved it. He did amazing. Every step of the way, he went from like this kind, naive man to this strong, like hearted man, but still had that wholesome to him. He deserved it. How about you, Ben?
And I mean, he's also been in the industry for, you know, so many years.
Yes.
Like, he was in the original Indiana Jones movie as a kid, and then, you know, just this meteoric rise, I guess, just to finally get that award that he truly deserved. It was just beautiful to see.
I mean, I heard he was the after party king. He was going around his Oscars
Oh
like,
yeah, oh yeah. I heard he was on tables. He was celebrating. I mean, if you win an Oscar, why wouldn't you celebrate like that?
I would.
I also remember he did a movie with Brendan Fraser a while ago. I don't remember what it's called, but apparently Brendan Fraser was a caveman, frozen in time, and like they're in high school or something. But anyway, let's dive in.
All at once.
Huh?
Everything all at once.
Everything else. Actually, oh no. Speaking of that, let's talk about supporting actress, Jamie Lee Curtis. I heard there's some controversy about the supporting actress. I just want your guys' takes.
Okay, I'm gonna jump into this.
Yeah.
I fully believe that Angela Bassett deserved that award. I mean,
She was robbed.
she put her heart and soul into the performance in Wakanda Forever. I mean, you know, coming from a place where she was a very minor role in the first movie to having to step up after the death of Chadwick Boseman, she had to step up, and she truly put everything into that movie. And Jamie Lee Curtis wasn't even the best actress in her own film, in the supporting actress in her own film. So I just feel that this was more of a legacy award. You know, like, this is probably the last time she's going to be nominated for something, because, you know, her acting career is kind of coming to a close. So I feel like they just kind of gave it to her as like more of a, you know, you've been in this industry for so long, you know, your family has been in the industry since the 40s. Like, this is just kind of a thank you. But I fully believe Angela Bassett deserved it.
I don't know, it's mixed because I feel like both of them kind of have like a legacy thing. Yes, of course, Angela's more like her own legacy. Of course, she's like the start of it. And I know Jamie Lee Curtis, her parents both are nominated for Oscars, but they never got chosen. You know, so it was for them. It was for her family. But I do have to agree with you. Angela deserved it. Angela truly deserved it. It was her, like, she baked the cake, delivered it, and they took the whole cake and left her with a tiny piece. That's how I feel about it.
Sorry, I think that she like absolutely killed it in that role. I think that she was one of the most like emotionally powerful, like impactful characters in the entire movie, and her development, obviously aside from, oh my goodness, I forget her name, Shiri in the movie. Her like watching like a mother kind of deal with like the death of her son is something that's like, you don't see that too often in movies. And like the fact that that really got played out, and you see her kind of step into her own role as hero and how she accurately just portrayed that so well. I think it was nothing short of brilliant. I really think she would have won it, or should have won it.
Yeah, can we go on that? Like,
Yeah,
Wakanda Forever,
sure.
they definitely deserved more awards. All they won was, I believe, the best costume. Yeah, they had an
Actually,
amazing.
I think that, which one was Avatar? Avatar, I think.
Not
was
Avatar.
Visual effects.
Visual effects.
Yes, they only won best costumes. Well deserved. Their costumes were off the jit. Nobody did it better than them. But even like, you know, the Women King, like, they didn't get no nominations and stuff like that. They were up there with Wakanda Forever and very close by. But the storyline of Wakanda Forever, like, they did it from start to finish, and it was a tribute, like, you know, and why didn't they? You know, like, it was something so much more. So like, instead of like Everything All at Once, where it was just this kind of crazy creative movie, it was so deep within, especially in the Marvel community. You know, I feel like people, I'm right, Marvel,
Yeah.
okay, because I don't want to get banned here.
Don't anger the Marvel.
Don't
nerds,
anger the
guys.
Marvel people, you know, I swear I won't. But it was so deep within. I'm surprised more people didn't vote for them because they have such a big community, kind of like, you know, DreamWorks and Disney type thing. Bringing that debate back up.
Yeah, so I mean, if you were watching the Oscars last night, you guys could see when they were going to announce Best Supporting Actress. And once they did announce Jamie Lee Curtis, you saw how she was a little upset, a little pissed off, which
Rightfully.
after hearing,
Rightfully so.
yeah, I would think so, rightfully so.
Angela definitely deserved it.
So before our next topic, I would love to discuss Jimmy Kimmel's, whole act in the Oscars and referencing a you-know-who doing a
You know what?
kind of slap, certain gesture. I thought it was funny.
Funny.
Yeah.
I thought it was
funny.
funny. Will Smith, he's a great actor.
Yeah.
But obviously in that moment, you kind of have to stand up for your wife, but at the same time, it was kind of because Chris Rock and Will Smith had a good friendship even before, and to see that kind of go down, especially in a place where everybody's watching, is kind of a stain on your career.
Yeah. They definitely they have more stairs. I don't know if you saw. Like Jimmy Kimmel was all the way up there. Like you know how before it was like, oh, right here,
Right,
you're
right,
there.
right.
No access. You were
They
gonna be
prepared,
tired
man. They
before you got
prepared.
there. Yeah, he made I believe 10 jokes about Will Smith doing what he did.
And they were all funny.
all hilarious.
He was like, if you want to mess with me, you gotta mess with Michael B. Jordan.
Yeah.
You gotta mess with Pedro
Gotta get the
Pascal.
Apollo.
You're messing with the Mandalorian and Adonis Creed. Do not mess with me. But I think it was, obviously it's the year after it happened, so it's still fresh in everybody's mind. It's not like the Moonlight and the La La Land situation, which is still very memorable, but that's years in the past. But this was a year after. People were watching the Oscars to see how they reacted to it.
Yeah.
In the next year, there's an Oscars protection task force now. after this.
It's strange. It really is strange.
But at the end of the day, I mean, you have Jimmy Kimmel, who's is a comedian. He's gonna make jokes, and every joke he made was great.
And it was respectable too.
Yeah.
He didn't jive too much into it.
There's one where he's talking about Banshees of Inisherin, and apparently there's a donkey character, so he brings out the donkey from the movie. It was a funny moment.
But
Now-
Will Smith is banned for a whole decade.
Huh?
Will Smith is banned for a whole decade.
A whole decade.
Whole
Yeah.
decade. He's
Yeah.
out
Really?
of there. Yeah.
I didn't
And that was
think
his
for a whole
first
decade,
Oscars
though.
for a while.
Yeah, I mean that's an FCC nightmare though.
That is an FCC nightmare, and especially when he swore right after it.
Yeah,
I mean,
Oh.
you can't get away
Yeah.
with that at the Oscars.
It's live.
I know it's not the Super Bowl, but
That's
still,
true.
I was watching it.
I was too. It gave me I don't know if you guys remember this, the 2009 thing with Kanye. It wasn't the Oscars.
It felt
but-
staged.
video-
but it
the
was
video
fully
awards?
real.
Yeah, where he interrupted. I think it was Taylor Swift.
Oh
I'm
my
gonna let
the
you
God.
finish,
award.
but-
Yeah, and then he just goes up there and just starts talking.
Well, Dean,
Right.
I'm gonna let you finish, but we gotta talk about one of my personal favorite international films, All Quiet on the Western Front, with I think it was 4 awards: Best Cinematography, Best International Film, Best Soundtrack. Oh my God, I love this film. I'm so glad it got the attention it deserves. I wish it got Best Picture, but it didn't. So I'll take my chances. I'll take those few wins, those losses. I love that film. Now, let's continue with Best Actress.
Back to Jamie Lee Curtis herself, the woman. Jamie Lee Curtis, I don't know. I need to hear your take.
Best Actress.
Best Actress, yes.
She
Oh,
won
Best
Best
Actress.
Supporting
Best
Actress.
Supporting. So who wants Best Actress?
Michelle Yeoh.
Michelle Yeoh. That speech was amazing. I cried. Maybe I'm a crybaby. I don't know. But that movie just does for me and everybody who's involved in it. It was so emotional. She was the first Asian woman to ever win an Oscars, which is history making. Recently,
history making.
there's been history that's been making time after time with the Oscars to the Grammys. And I'm just so proud that now we're involving, people of different cultures, and they're being able to make a stand in the movie industry.
She does make an
deserved it.
impressive performance in that movie.
She
She
deserved
also was in Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. I don't know if you guys saw that, but that was I think it was a kung fu movie kind of. I had to watch that movie during high school class, and I really enjoyed it. I wish I didn't have to watch it in a classroom where everyone else was on their phones and it was on a whiteboard with all the markers, but I enjoyed it.
Can we go back to why you didn't like her movie? I need to know this.
I think
what was wrong with everything
we'll talk about
that
it for the Best Picture.
Okay, okay.
So
Getting
I didn't get the chance because I know some of you guys wanted to talk about the Batman. What are you guys' thoughts about it not winning anything?
It makes me a little upset. Now,
Or even being nominated.
what was that?
I don't think it won I don't
don't
even think it got nominated
anything.
for a
It only
lot.
had one nomination, but no wins.
No
I'm like
wins.
me and the Women King, angry, very upset.
Yeah, I mean, for Batman, listen, I know it had its fair share of a little bit of holes. I know a lot of people said it dragged, but I thought, and of course, everyone, like the hardcore fans are gonna say, oh, it was nothing like the Dark Knight trilogy or any of those movies, but I think it was a great kind of spin on Batman. Let's not forget, Batman originated as a detective based on the comic books. And it was really cool to see them kind of go back to that kind of originality of Batman. I really liked that approach. I thought that the Riddler was fantastic in that movie.
Oh my God.
Like, I thought the acting was brilliant. I forget the name of the actor, but
For Riddler?
yes.
Paul Dano.
Brilliant performance, like especially the scenes where you kind of see him like losing his mind. Like, I thought it was just so well done. Robert Pattinson was also a very good Batman.
Yeah.
I think he did a very good job. I think it was a very good movie. I understand why people didn't really like it. I understand people kind of get like, oh, it dragged. It was a long movie. I think it was very good. I think it should have gotten something. Like, I don't know what you guys think, but I think it should have gotten definitely at least some sort of recognition.
For the Batman, I love the movie. I personally don't think it should have won any awards, but I feel like it definitely should have had more nominations. I feel like I think they only got for costume design, which is rightful because Colin Farrell looks. Oh no, it was for makeup because of Colin Farrell.
Colin Farrell, yes.
Looks nothing like he does normally. But I feel like there was a lot of great performances in that film. Great cinematography, great sound. Just I feel like it should have gotten maybe a couple more nominations. But at the end of the day, there were so many other great films that kind of surpassed the Batman throughout the year. But I feel like they were snubbed in a lot of different categories.
Yeah, I think it definitely deserved more recognition. I'm not gonna like go on and hard campaign it for something like Best Picture, Batman. Like, it's not gonna happen. But I definitely think that it went so unrecognized, especially considering how bad DC movies have been. Like, DC's been a train wreck.
Oh yeah.
And it's been getting killed by Marvel. And like, I think that the Batman really put DC back on the map. Like, people are like, wow, DC can make good movies. Like, like who would have thought? And I think that it definitely deserved more than it definitely should have gotten more than it actually
makeup.
did.
Yeah, I believe it only got
makeup. Yeah, it just definitely deserved more recognition.
I love the gritty, the dark nature. The costumes were amazing. The acting by Paul Dano and Robert Pattinson was amazing. The whole element where the Riddler was acting, I heard that Paul Dano actually had to the way he was setting up his performance was he was kind of looking at the Zodiac Killer and like how he acted. It was his main influence pretty much. And just watching the film, the whole funeral scene I thought was pretty cool.
Yeah.
That kind of gave off like a Saw element, you know what I mean? I feel like a lot of Paul Dano gave off a Zodiac Killer and Saw kind of figure.
And that's it's a different take on that
It
character.
is different.
Nobody,
Very different.
when you think of the Riddler, you think of Jim Carrey and the
The
90s
goofy Riddler.
the goofy Riddler. But he really took a serial killer approach, and for this tone of a film, that is exactly what was needed.
No, yeah, I think that fits like just the tone of like the movie and exactly what's going on in the media. Like, serial killers is what's in right now. Everybody loves to see
Netflix
like
serial killer guys.
especially the Zodiac Killer. Like, everybody knows who that is, and it's like an infamous serial killer because of like what's going on, everything that's trending on Netflix and stuff. These movies really outdid it this year.
Oh yeah.
I feel like it's very hard to pick a favorite. It's like once you hear a movie, you're like, yes, they deserve that. Then you're like, but what about this one? You're like, I don't know.
See, the problem with good movies like that is that there's always one that's going to be better. And how you already made the movie. It's not like you can go back and just do better. But we're running out of time, so we're gonna jump into Best Actor. Brendan Fraser. I like Brendan Fraser, and it's good to see him finally win an Oscar, finally come back in Hollywood. I don't know if you guys saw The Whale. I didn't see The Whale, but watching a few clips, he deserves it. He deserves it.
And I feel like I'm kind of backpedaling a little bit because I'm kind of going against what I said about Jamie Lee Curtis. But, he's kind of been not blacklisted, but nobody's, like, back in the early 2000s, Brendan Fraser was, like, the guy. You have The Mummy. You have so many of these films. And then I don't remember what the circumstances were. I think there were circumstances, but I'm not too familiar with it, but I know he was kind of blacklisted essentially from Hollywood. So I'm very happy for him, you know, to kind of get this award. You know, like you said, I didn't see the film, but I saw so many clips, and it's just, you know, one of those things where, you know, he deserves it after everything he's gone through in Hollywood.
I saw the movie. Correct me if I'm wrong. Who was he? The lead character in that movie?
The lead character in The Whale.
Right. Yeah. I actually just saw The Whale recently.
Wow.
Yeah, I saw it right. Actually, we were on spring break this week, but like literally like the day or so before, I thought it was a very kind of. It wasn't what I thought it would be. Like especially towards the end, I thought, I'm not gonna say too much, but. I found myself invested in the characters like way more than I thought I would be. Like the main character is like, well, obviously with the situation he is not completely relatable, but like I can't explain it. It was like a very emotionally driving movie. I don't know if you guys thought. I don't know if anyone has seen it, but I personally liked it more than I ever thought I would.
Well, now last but not least, my least favorite. Everything, Everywhere, All at Once, winning Best Picture at the Oscars. Now, I could understand Best Acting, you know, all the actors. Jamie Lee Curtis, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actress. They did amazing. I love the acting in that. The fact that it won Best Original Score over Rihanna, after Rihanna was being hyped, I thought was hilarious, in my opinion. But that shouldn't have won Best Picture of the Year. And here's my reasons. When I watched that movie, I was bored. It was so weird. And, you know, it's an A24 film, so it's going to be weird. But, I don't know, I couldn't wrap my head around the whole plot and storyline after a few, I would say 20, 30 minutes. And I hated the first half of the film. The second half is kind of the more the part I liked. You know, that's where the Oscar nominations come. Is the second act, and Best Supporting Actor or Best Supporting Actress, Best Supporting Actor, Best Actress. Second part, I didn't like how the story wrapped up, and I'm not going to spoil it. I didn't like how. It resonates a message, you know. It resonates a message about love and family. But there's a scene where they're rocks. They are rocks.
They're everything all at once.
See, but like,
get it?
Have we literally like gone down to two little like?
Yes.
If we took these mugs, this is what they did. If these mugs were rocks, they're talking to each other, with little subtitles. Is that really?
Yes.
That's the pinnacle of film?
That's the pinnacle.
I don't know. I don't understand. Maybe I'm just too stupid to know.
That is cinema nowadays.
That is
Rocks.
cinema, guys.
Rocks.
Rocks.
Cinema is rocks.
No, you get how like people are like let's take atheists. I'm gonna be a tree. You know, I'm gonna become one with the earth. It's that type of symbolism. They're going through different dimensions of life, of different lifehoods. That it's just everything all at once. What's more simpler than a rock sitting on a hill?
Everything shouldn't have won everything, let me just say. All Quiet should have been Best Picture. That movie changed me. I love that movie. But we got to wrap it up. I love the Oscars. I hate Best Picture. I love all the actors and actresses. I love the animated film. Puss in Boots, you should have won. But we got to end it here. Thank you so much for watching us, and we'll see you at the next Oscars.